This was the table which we have created in the last class. And my requirement?
Display the average of each.
Yeah. The output what we want, average of 101 is so and so value. In the same way, average of 102, like this I want the average calculated to be calculated for every student. Okay, shall I do this, Dilaver?
Yeah, we shall do together.
Shall we do this now?
Yeah, we shall do.
Okay, so first what you need, if you want to calculate average and you need all these values, so we should start writing a cursor, because you want the average to be calculated not for one record, it will be for all the records. So create, we have procedure, na? Create calculate average is the name of the procedure, is begin and is the cursor procedure structure. We need a cursor. C1 is, I want all the columns. Select star from the table student. Next. For calculating average, for storing the average, I need one variable. Let's say v underscore avg, which is of number of size 6, 2. 6, 2. That means 2 decimal points are allowed, 2 digits after the decimal point, 4 digits before the decimal point. Next, we need a loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you want to calculate for every record. For variable a in C1 loop, v underscore avg colon equal to, how to access 60? How to access 60? First row, how to access the value 60? Can you write directly sub1 plus sub2 plus sub3?
Yes, divided by 3.
Divided by, directly can we write column name? You should write variable name dot column name. How to access a dot sub1, a dot sub2 and a dot sub3, like this. How can I refer a value using loop variable? Okay, Dilaver?
Yeah.
Next. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line average of single quotes goes concatenated. How can you access 101? How can you print 101? 101 is there in which column? S number. Okay? Can write S number?
It should be V average. Oh,
average of 101. How to refer 101?
Yeah, average of 101 is the V underscore.
Should I write 101 here?
Then this is hard coded.
Average of 101 is concatenated is what? Where is average stored?
V average.
V underscore
average.
That's it. End loop. This loop will execute for all the records. End the procedure. Is it right?
Why you are putting 101 only?
So we should not write 101. So what you should write here? How to access 101? The column name. What is the column name? 101 available in which column? S number. Got it? Which S number? You cannot directly write column name. A dot S number. How can you directly? Any value you can refer it by using the loop variable.
Yeah.
Got it? First the loop pointer points to first record. Second time when the loop execute, loop pointer points to second record. When third time the loop will execute for third record. Like this loop will execute for all the records. Average of 101 and average of 102 to average of 103. Like this, we'll get all the loops. Shall we create?
Yeah.
Procedure created. To get the output, first we should write set server output on. Now how to run the procedure? How to execute, or you can write it inside a begin and end. What shall we do it? We should write it inside a begin and end. Let's begin, and then how to invoke the procedure. What is the name of the procedure? CALC underscore AVG single quotes. Average of 101, 102, 103. Am I processing all the records? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this. Okay. So this is how we should write a program. Whenever you want to process multiple records from the table, in that case we should use the concept of cursors, and we are using it inside a process. So very simple. Whenever I want calculate average, I want calculate average every month. So every month I invoke the procedure. That's it. My average will be printed. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move to next concept. Functions. Now function is same as procedure, but the only rule is that functions also functions are permanently stored, which should return. Okay. Now before starting functions, okay, we have missed one point. Can a procedure have parameters?
We discussed it, I think.
Can a procedure have parameters? We have learned that there are three types of parameters. What are the three types of parameters procedure is having? In parameters,
Out, in, out.
out parameters, in out
In, out.
parameters.
In, out parameter.
We very frequently used in parameter. We don't use it frequently out and in out parameter, but we have not discussed how to use out and in out parameter. Let us have a discussion about out and in out parameters. Okay. What is the in parameter? We have seen procedures which are accepting in parameters. I have procedure which are calculating sum of two numbers. Procedure which accepts employee number, displaying the salary. Agree, incrementing the salary. So we have done some couple of examples, isn't it, of in parameters, isn't it, Jamal? So in parameters are accepting the values from the user. What about out parameters? Dilavar? In parameters accepts the value, whereas out parameters returns the value.
Yeah.
To the user. Out parameters will return the value to the user. Let's have a sim example. Create a, now look at the requirement. Create a procedure which accepts two numbers and not display. Return it's a sum. What we want to create a procedure which accepts two numbers and return it's a sum. Okay, there is a difference between displaying the sum and returning the sum. Okay, displaying the sum is nothing but in the procedure. I'll show you. Look at this.
DBMS.
Yeah, what happens if you do these kind of errors? Spelling mistakes or syntax errors. In that case, procedure is created with the compilation errors. You'll get these kind of errors. Procedure is
Yes.
created with the compilation. Don't think procedure is not created. Procedure is created, but it is procedure created with the errors. Procedures which are created with errors cannot be invoked. Okay, so what you should do, it is the developer's responsibility to rectify the errors and recreate the procedure successfully.
We cannot execute also, no, if it is having some error.
No, we cannot execute also. Let's say, for example, you can see here begin, and right now procedure is available, but it is a compiled with errors, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you write add underscore num2, what's the name of the procedure? I'm invoking the procedure inside a begin and end. Dilaver.
Yeah.
Look at this. Sorry. Add underscore num is a invalid. That means it's an invalid procedure. Procedures which are created with the compilation errors are called invalid procedures, so which you cannot invoke it. So it is our responsibility to rectify the code and recreate the same procedure. Now procedure is successfully created. Now if you invoke it, it gets successfully invoked. Sorry, why you are getting an error? Add underscore num2, wrong number or type of arguments. If the procedure is having how many parameters? Add underscore num2 is having 2 parameters. So how many values you need to pass? 2 values, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sum is 40. Okay. So now this is a procedure which is accepting 2 numbers and displaying the sum. This is not what we want. What we want is to return the sum. How does procedure return? Displaying the sum is nothing but by using DBMS underscore we are printing it in the environment. Displaying is nothing but returning to the environment. How does procedure returns a value? How does procedure returns a value? We use out parameters, returns the value to the user. So we want the procedure to accept 2 numbers and return its sum. So 2 numbers should be accepted, 2 are in parameters and 1 out parameter. So you should write comma C followed with out followed with a number is, you don't need a local variable again, so because we already have C, so catch the value into C, that's it. We don't want to print it. This is a procedure which is returning the sum. Procedure is created. In this example, the lover procedure is accepting how many values?
2 values.
And how many values it is returning?
1.
1 value it is returning. So if you invoke it by using 10 and comma 30, so the value C becomes 40. 40 is returned. When 40 value is returned, we need a variable to catch the value returned. Are you understanding? When procedure returns a value, we need a variable to catch the value returned. Those variables we should declare it here. N followed with number. I use this n variable to catch the value returned. And what parameter is returning the value? C parameter, which is the third parameter. So in the third position, you should write it as n. Why I am writing n in my third position? Because third parameter is a out parameter. So procedure returns a value using the third parameter. I am using it n. That means the value is stored in which variable? N. And you can use it n as per the requirement. Let's say example I want to use. Dilaver, are you there? Jamal, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Are you getting 40? What value is written? 40 is value written. 40 is written in which variable? 40 is stored in n variable n and we are printing n. There is difference between printing the value and returning the value. Displaying the value is by writing dbms underscore output. We display it on the screen. But sometimes you don't want to display it on the screen. You want to return the value. If you want the value to be returned, then we use out parameters. Okay. Clear? Shall we try one more
Yes.
example?
Yes.
Create a procedure which
Sunil,
accepts a number. Yes.
in
Yeah.
our invoking program, if you don't give DBMS, then will it display 40?
Where?
That DBMS within bracket n we have given. No? So if you
Yes.
don't add DBMS, how will it get executed? I mean, it will not show,
No,
but it
it will not show, but the value will be stored in the variable. That's it. If you can see, I'm not using DBMS output statement.
would just.
Variable is stored in none, so value is written and stored in variable n. You should use it when you should use it as per the requirement. Okay, you should use that value. Okay. So mainly we're returning values. Let's say, for example, you want to calculate interest. Interest is nothing but principal plus rate of interest as well as number of years, isn't it? So basing on some values, you want some calculating the interest. In that case, we should go for out parameters. Okay, those kind of calculations. Generally, for if you want to have calculations, we use out parameters.
Okay. In our practical scenarios, I mean, where exactly it will be used? I mean,
Very
uh,
rarely we use out parameters. Procedures. If you look at your existing code, which is there in your office, you rarely find a procedure which is using out parameters and in out parameters because we don't value. So practically, we don't prefer returning the values from the procedure to the calling environment. Okay. So 99% if you are having a procedure, the procedure is always having what parameters? In parameters only. Okay. This is just for your information.
only
If you want
the
some values, to be returned, then the option is I said I'm using out parameters for returning the values. Okay. Technically, we don't use out parameters. If you really want some program to return a value, in that case we go for functions. That is our next concept. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So practically we will not return values when you're writing a program in the real time. Okay. Look at this. Create a procedure which accepts a number and return its square. I want a procedure which accepts a number and return its square. That example, let's create a procedure ret underscore square. If I pass 10, what my procedure should return? 100.
100.
So how to do this? Can you tell me? So how many in parameters it should have?
1.
And how many out parameters it should have?
1.
1. So how to start writing the code? Tell me, Dilavar. If you want, you can use this previous program as your reference program.
Yeah. Can you just copy paste that? We will modify that.
Yes. Name of the procedure what I want is ret underscore square.
Yeah.
How to change?
Remove B. First of all, change the name of the procedure.
Create
ret
or
underscore
replace procedure name ret
underscore square.
square which accepts one number. One second parameter is not required. Only one input parameter.
Yeah. Yeah. A and
And
C is required.
one output parameter. Let's say second output parameter is B.
B. Yeah.
Next.
Is begin and then our B equals to B equals to A into A into A.
That's it. Perfect. Now how to invoke it?
Executing here, declare.
How to invoke?
Change the name of the procedure, red square. Yeah. Remove 30. Sunil?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. We are going with 10. Okay. I was just asking, I mean, what if we put A comma N?
Error a comma n. You're talking about a comma n.
Yeah.
When you are invoking a procedure, if the procedure is having in parameters, you need to provide the values, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
Wherever in parameters is there, when you're invoking, we have to provide the value. Yesterday also when I have created procedures, we are passing employee numbers, isn't it? So you need to provide the values. You have no other option. Let's say the value I'm passing is 79. So 79 multiplied by 70, 97 multiplied by 97. 9404 is the square of this 97.
Yeah. Fine.
Got it? Okay. So like this, in parameters are used for accepting, out parameters are used for returning. When procedure is returning, we need one variable, so we declare local variable, cache the values. Here I am printing it, but practically you should use that variable as per the project requirements. Okay, clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, can you try this? So you have understood about in parameters for accepting, out parameters is for returning the value. Can you guess what is in out parameter?
Only one variable number variable will be
Yes.
there.
Only one variable can accept as well as can return a
Good.
value. Okay, can you try this? Create a procedure which accepts a number and return its square. We want the procedure to accept a number and return its square. We already have done it. We have procedure which are accepting a number, return its square. Yes, the point is, Dilaver, here we have used one in parameter and one out parameter. We have used two separate parameters, and I want here to use only one parameter. That should be a in out parameter. Jamal, are you following?
Yes, yes.
So can you make changes in this code so that we'll create one procedure which returns its square, which should use in out parameter.
Then make it a in out number.
RET underscore square 2 is the name of the procedure.
Yeah.
We should not have two parameters. We should have only one parameter. That should be an in out parameter, isn't it?
In out.
So a in out number. How to write the code?
Begin 8.
A equal to a star a. That's it. Isn't it? We are accepting the value to the same value we are initializing. Got it?
Yeah. So from the processing point of view, Sunil, from the processing point of view, what is best to have one variable which works as in out or two different variables?
Better to have two different variables, one in variable and one out variable. Best thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Now how to call this procedure? Dilaver. RET underscore square 2.
Yeah.
We should not have two parameters. I want to pass a value 10.
Yeah.
Next. So procedure will return 100. Where to store 100?
And
So how to write n? How to cache the value? How to use the n in the procedure? Should we write like this? When we write like this, what the procedure thinks that there is one in parameter and one out parameter, two separate parameters. But our procedure is not having two separate parameters. It is having only one parameter.
Yeah.
So how to do it? So whenever you are having in parameter, and what value you want to pass? You want to pass a value 10 to the procedure, isn't it? Whenever you want to pass a value, first you initialize that value into the local variable. Okay?
Okay.
Next. Mention n here. When you mention n, that means indirectly what value you are passing? What is the value in the n?
10.
10. So 10 is passed. Procedure gets invoked. A will be replaced with 100. The n will be replaced with 100 and printing n. Same variable we are using one variable. Whatever value you want to pass, first initialize into that variable and then pass that variable to the procedure. The output what you're getting is 100. Dilaver.
Yeah.
Is that clear? So you should not hard code whatever the value. If you want to pass a value 7, you should not hard code. If you hard code the value, you don't need a variable to catch the value. So whatever the value you want to pass, let's say if you want to pass value 7, first initialize the 7 into the variable and then send that variable.
Yeah. Correct.
So indirectly you are sending 7 and the variable n will be replaced with 49 and 49 is printed. So printed. Okay. So like this, out parameters are in parameters are for accepting the values, out parameters are used for returning the values, in out parameters are both for accepting as well as returning the values. Okay. So this is so, but very rarely we use out parameters in the procedures. We don't use out parameters. We don't use in out parameters. We always use in parameters in the procedures concept. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move to the next concept. Functions. Functions are programs which should return a value. It should return a value. Functions are programs which should return a value. So the rule of a function is a mandatory function. When you're creating a function, function should return a value. Is it mandatory that procedure should return a value? It's not mandatory. Procedure can have only in parameters, isn't it? Or we can have a procedure without parameters also. So there is no rule that procedures should return a value, whereas functions, the rule is that it should return a value. Okay?
Sunil, this
Yes.
functions we have done in SQL, is it extension of that?
Those those functions which we have learned in SQL, that is single of string functions, number functions, date functions, we have group functions. Those are predefined functions, isn't it? This is creating our own function, so those is nowhere related to the functions what we have learned in SQL.
Okay.
So what is the rule of a function, Jamal? The rule is that function should return a value. We use functions for performing calculations. Whenever you want some calculations to be done, in that case we go for using the functions, mainly used for calculations purpose. So understand, when you're working on a project or PL SQL programming, you want some calculations to be done. In that case we go for writing a function. Syntax. Let us learn how to create a function. Create or replace function followed with the function name, function can have parameters, parameter, data type, return, data type is begin the lines of code you want to execute, so this is how to create a function. Syntax. Let's frame an example. Create a function. which accepts two numbers, and return its sum. I want the function to calculate two numbers and return its sum. Accept two numbers and return its sum. So Jamal, please guide me in the code. Very simple, almost the same. Looking at the syntax, I want you to frame an example. So create or replace function. Function name can be anything. For example, f1 is the name of the function. My function should accept how many numbers? Should accept two numbers. So
Okay. A data type number, comma, then B number, B number, return data type.
Return
C.
Number.
no, return number. You should mention that it is varchar2 or return number. You should not write C. Return data type, not the variable. Is begin. Before begin, I want to declare one variable C. Next.
Yes. And then what is the with two numbers and it was okay. Some C equals A plus B.
How does function returns a value? Function returns a value by using the return statement. Return C. Always function returns a value by using the return statement. This is called return statement. Return statement is mandatory. Using the return statement, function returns a value. Jamal.
Okay.
Function is created. Now how to invoke it? You can use it as a reference of the previous examples for invoking. As function returns a value, now I want to invoke the function. As function returns a value, we need one variable to catch that value. That variable is n.
Yes.
Next.
Begin. Okay. Sum.
N colon equal to. Okay. Call the function f1, passing two values 20, 40. Very important. Look at this. What is the name of the function, Jamal? F1.
Yes.
Function is having how many parameters? Two parameters. So calling the function with 20 and 40. As function returns a value, okay, I need one variable to catch the value. That's the reason I have declared one local variable n. And using colon equal to, when function returns a value, using colon equal to, I am catching the value returned by the function and I am printing the value.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Like this. So function accepts numbers and very important. Function mandatory should return a value. How does function returns the value? By using the return statement. When function returns a value, we need always have a variable to catch the value. So I have created one variable, catching the value into the variable and printing the variable. Okay?
Okay.
Shall we try one more example?
Sunil,
Yes.
in our function, the sum is being stored in C variable. Correct?
Sum is not stored in C. Sum is stored in N.
When we are creating the function, it is it is successfully created because in that function we are not nowhere we are mentioning n over there, n as a variable.
Yes.
But when we are executing it, we are taking the help of n to store the
Yes.
The result of A
Value.
plus B.
Yes. Okay. C will not store the value. C just returns the value. Okay. Now your question was function in C the value is stored. Okay. Now if the value is stored in C, tell me what value is stored in C?
Yeah, nothing. We didn't put the input parameter.
Yeah, exactly. At the runtime, when you're invoking, then the values will be passed. Okay,
Hmm.
so wait for 20 and 40. No, variable C will become 60, no doubt. And we don't, the moment C becomes 60, it is written. That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it? Now here you store it and then we use it. Okay,
Okay.
shall we try one more example?
Yes.
So function, one important point. Functions can be invoked from select statement. This is very important advantage. You can use select statement to invoke the function. Jamal, select. I want to invoke the function. What is the name of the function which we have created?
F1.
F1. So select F1. When you are invoking the function, how many values you need to pass?
2.
Every select statement should have from which table? This function is not related to any particular table. So we use dummy table, that is
Good.
50, 23. What is the output? 73. Did I successfully invoke? Yes.
Yeah.
One important advantage of functions is that functions can be invoked from a select statement. Okay.
Sunil, you remember I was asking you that insert for all multiple tables, multiple rows at one time, and then we are using select star from dual. Is
Yes.
it linked with that?
No. You're talking about inserting multiple rows, that is nowhere related to dual. Okay.
Achha.
I'll show you example.
Yeah. Because
So
in that
that
way, the last select star from dual was also written.
okay. I'll tell you how to design those kind of select statements.
Okay.
That is pending and the switch case is also pending. So is this clear how to invoke functions on the select statement? Let's try one more example.
If you give one parameter in this function, as we have two variables now, how it insufficient parameter?
Function is having how many parameters? Two parameters. So when you're
Yeah.
invoking, you should have two values.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say if you're not passing two values, if you're passing only one value, give me a minute.
वालेकुम सलाम सर। अल्लाह करम सर। चलो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
I am back.
मेरे ख्याल में आपको
Dilavar.
या सर।
So we are here need to pass two values. Let's say your question is what happens if you pass one value. Obviously you get an error saying invalid number of arguments, invalid wrong number of arguments to the call F1. Whenever you are calling F1, you need to pass appropriate values to all the parameters. Otherwise it will not be invoked. Okay?
अच्छा
Same the case with procedure also. If the procedure is having two parameters, you should pass two values. Otherwise you get the same error.
ओके
Shall we try one more example of a function? Create a function which accepts salary and return tax value. My function, if I pass salary, my function should return. So this is the tax that salary should have. And very important, tax is nothing but 8% of salary. That is the rule. Okay. So how to do this? Okay. Look at this. Create or replace function. Let's have a meaningful function as cal underscore tax, because it is calculating the tax, which accepts a salary. Salary is nothing but a number. So write a number, return tax. Tax is also a number. Return number, begin is begin. I need one variable, so I write v underscore tax number of 6,2. So how to write the calculate the tax? Jamal, v underscore tax equal to 8% of salary. Salary is stored in which variable? A. So A multiplied by 8 divided by 100. Am I right?
Yeah, 500.
How does function returns the value? By using the return statement. Return b underscore tax. Function created. How to invoke it? Dilavar, can you tell me the code to invoke this using this as a reference?
Declaration is okay. Function, we should give one input parameter.
What's the name of the function?
Function calculate.
Not F1. Change the function name to cal underscore tax. Only one parameter. It should have the salary. Okay. For example, the salary is 45,000. So 8% of 45,000 is stored in N. Okay.
N is 20.
3,600. Okay. Got it? 10% is 4,500, 8% is 3,600. Perfect.
Yeah.
My function is accepting salary and returning the tax.
Sunil, we are entering the number, getting the number. Will it be a different scenario, getting a varchar 2 also?
You may never know. You may need, let's say for example, you want
What scenario?
Technically, if you want to return character, let's say for example, you want a function which accepts employee number and returning employee name. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, we write a select statement and selecting the name into local variables. Instead of v is tax, we write v underscore rename, we store it, and we return the employee name. Okay. In that case, we write character, we store it. But for that purpose, we don't use function. For that purpose, we use procedures. Mainly, we prefer functions for performing calculations. Okay.
Fine.
Got it, Dilavar?
Yeah. Got it. Correct.
Mainly, so what if actually for calculating tax, you don't need function. We can also do it in procedures also, isn't it? Create or replace procedure. Same thing, we can write it in procedures also. Okay, but mainly as the rule of a function is where it should return a value. That's the technical concept behind the function. Functions, we use it only for performing calculations and returning some values. Can I invoke this function from the select statement, Jamal?
Yes, you can.
How to do it? Select.
Advantage of function.
Calculate tax, assuming the tax is 10,000. From which table?
Doer.
If 10,000 is the tax, 8% of 10,000 is 800 is the tax value of that particular salary 10,000. Okay, is it me giving a meaningful job? It is doing a meaningful task of returning the tax of that particular salary. Now look at my requirement. This is very interesting. I want this output. Employee number, name, salary, tax of that particular employees. How many employees we have in the employee table? 14 employees. I want 14 employee numbers, all the 14 employee names, 14 salaries. I've followed with 14 the tax values. Yes, you can invoke it in one single statement. You can invoke and get the tax values. Select employee number, employee name, salary. For the fourth column tax, we have a function. What's the name of the function? The name of the function is calculate underscore tax. In that, it's not 1,000, 10,000. It's not one value. You have 14 salaries. So complete pass the column name salary, not one value. Complete pass the column name salary from not dual table. This time it is from the employee table. So if 1,800 is the salary, tax is 144. If 5,000 is salary, the tax is 400. Are you able to get tax values in single select statement? You are able to calculate tax of all the 14 employees. If there are 1,000 employees, are you able to provide the tax values of all the 1,000 employees? Is it a powerful feature, Dilavar?
Yeah.
Yes, because this is the main advantage of function. You can invoke it for calculations and get the values.
The same function can
Okay.
also be invoked in procedure also. Can it be called there also? Sunil? 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 Technical difficulties.
Hello, Jamal?
Yes.
Yeah. There's some network failure. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this is the purpose of functions. Functions are mainly preferred for calculations.
Sunil,
Okay. Yes.
this function can also be called in the procedure.
Yes. Function can also be called in the procedure. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Vice versa, there are some limitations. Let's say, for example, functions cannot have, very important, functions should not have DML commands. What does that mean? So you cannot write a insert command somewhere here, insert or update emp. You cannot write it here. Okay. So in case if you're calling a procedure, so let's say P1, you're calling it. If that P1 is having that insert command, then you'll get an error. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
You're calling a procedure P1. From where you're calling it from a function. Now, Dilawar, your question is, can we call procedure from a function? Yes, you can call it, but that procedure should not have DML commands. If the procedure is having DML commands, that in that case you get an error. So technically, we will not call procedures from the functions, but functions can be called from the procedures. Clear, Dilawar?
Yeah, correct.
Functions should not have DML commands. Now let's discuss about the next concept, that is packages. When you're working in project, you will create, let's say you have created 3 procedures and created 2 functions. When you're working in project, it's not one procedure. You create group of procedures, Jamal, and group of functions. Let's say, Jamal, you have created how many procedures? 3 procedures. And how many functions? 2 functions. If all these 3 procedures and 2 functions of it, they're related to one particular project, it is always better to group it and make it as a package. Group it and make it as a package. So package is nothing but collection of,
Procedures and functions.
yes, package is collection of related procedures and functions. Okay, so creating package is a 2-step process. It's a 2-step process. Step 1, we should create package specification, popularly called as PKS. Step 2, you need to create package body. It's a 2-step process. You need to create package specification and then you need to create package body. Package is having 2 parts, package specification, package body. Creating package. Sorry. It's a 2-step process. Package specification contains declarations of the programs. Today's Hyderabad today night there was a lot of rain, heavy rain, thunder, and today is 8th, I think so, isn't it?
Yeah, today is 8th.
So Jamal, when are you coming?
I will wait for you here.
Dilawar, when are you coming?
Yeah, third week I will come of this month.
You have scheduled the ticket?
Yeah, already confirmed, committed. No room
Oh,
back.
very good. Okay. 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 Contains definition of the programs. Specification contains declarations. Body contains definitions. What is the difference between declaration and definition? Let's try to understand with an example. I want to create a package. The name of the package is, let's say, test underscore pkg is the name of the package. I want my package collection of procedure P1, procedure display underscore salary, which accepts employee number and display salary, and cal underscore tag function cal underscore tags. How many programs? Jamal, I want my package which is collection of 3 programs, 2 procedures and 1 function. Okay. Now how can we do this? If you want to create a package, it's not a one-step process, it is a 2-step process. Step 1, what you should do? Create package. Specification, first step. Package specification contains declarations. What do you mean by declarations? You should just declare. So I want to include these 2 functions and procedures. Just name it. That is called declarations. I'll give an example. Create or replace package. What is the name of the package, Jamal? We are planning to create. The name of the package is test underscore pkg.
Yes.
Is just declare procedure. What you want to plan? What do you want to include in your package? You want to include procedure P1.
P1.
Second, what you want to include? Procedure display underscore sal procedure for not procedure
Function.
declarations. Dilawar, declaration is nothing but just mentioning what procedures you want to include, what functions you want to include. That is called declaration. Yes, Dilawar, you are saying something?
No, I mean, declaration will contain the participants in the package.
Yes, so what procedures and what functions. And remember, if the procedure is having parameters, you should include the parameters also. So my display underscore sal should accept what? Employee number. So I write, can I write v underscore employee number? Emp dot number, you can write it, or you can write emp dot employee number percentage type. My function calculate tax is also accept salary. V underscore sal, emp dot sal percentage type. As per the function, you should have one more statement called return number. This is how. Package specification. This is called package specification. So package specification is nothing but pointing out what programs you want to include, how many programs you want to include. You should mention the name of the programs, mention the parameters of that particular programs I created. Package is created. Only half the part is created. Only package specification is created. Next step, what you should do? This is example of PKS, stands for package specification. Next is second step.
Body.
Example of package body. No, without not executing. It's a 2-step process. Step 1 is package specification. Step 2 is to package body. Now we are creating package body. How to create package body? Create or replace use the term package body. Not just, if you just write package, it is package specification. You should mention package body. For what package? For the name of the package, test underscore pkg is in the package body. You should write the code. Procedure P1 is begin. This begin is for procedure P1. And this is procedure P1. This is called definition. Definition is nothing but writing the body, writing the code of each and every program. It's called definition. Dilavar. I hope you are understanding now the difference between declarations and definitions. Declaration is nothing but just declaring the name. Definition is nothing but writing the code of each and every program. Now code of one program is done. You need to write the code of the second program. Are you there? Dilavar?
Yeah.
Is begin. Okay, so this is first program body. Now I should read second program. I want to display salary. So v underscore sal emp dot sal percentage type begin. Select sal. Every select statement should have into clause into v sal from the employee table where employee number equal to v underscore employee number. Now I want to print the salary. So dbms underscore output. Second procedure. Next, what is pending? Third program is pending. What is the third program? Tax function, caltax. Is begin, declare one variable, v underscore tax. Sorry. How does function returns? By using the return statement, return v underscore end for the function, one more end for the package. This end for the function. This end for the package body. So create the, so we are done with defining all the programs in the package. Package body is created. Now I want to execute the procedure P1. I want to execute the procedure P1 which is inside the package. If you want to execute the procedure, we know how can we execute a procedure using begin and end. What if you want to execute the procedure, you should just write the procedure name, isn't it, P1? But the point is this P1 procedure is now inside the package. You should write test underscore pkg dot P1. What is test underscore pkg? Test underscore pkg is the name of the package. As this procedure is inside the package, if you want to invoke, you should write package name dot procedure name.
We are executing only one procedure.
Only one procedure. Hello Dilla, hello Jamal and Dilla. We are executing only one procedure which is there in a package. And one important point, you cannot execute a package. Dilavar, don't think that if I execute the package, all the three programs will be executed. No, you can only execute individual programs inside the package. If you want, you can execute P1 individually. If you want, you can execute display underscore salary. If you want, you can execute cal underscore tax. Individual programs, you should invoke it. You cannot execute a package which is just grouping it, but executing, there is no difference. Only thing you should prefix, if the procedure is inside the package, you should write package name dot procedure name. Now I want to invoke cal underscore tax. This cal underscore tax is inside the package. So Jamal,
Yes.
select test underscore pkg dot cal underscore tax is the name of the function, and we can invoke functions from the select statement from Jewel. So 34,500 is the salary which I'm invoking, passing inside the function, but this function is inside the package, so you should mention package name dot procedure name. 2760 is the tax value.
Sunil,
Yes.
we have two procedure, one function, which are working independently also. And
Yes.
we have made one package by compressing of all the three.
Exactly.
When we are executing it, each time we need to call each function by the name function like, and procedure also by the name. So I
Yes.
mean, individually also these two packages, one function was also getting executed in the package also. What is the use of having the package? I mean, when we cannot execute it.
Okay. The purpose of package is not executing group of programs. That is not the purpose of the package. When you're working in a project, okay,
Yeah.
there are 5 developers: developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4. How many developers are working in the project? 5 developers.
Okay.
Each developer is creating 3 procedures. Procedure, procedure, procedure. Total number of procedures, 5 developers, each developer creating how many procedures? 3 procedures. So how many procedures we have? 15 procedures. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, assuming developer 1 has created a procedure display. So procedure is created, happy. What the developer 5 will do, okay, look at the code. Create or replace procedure display is begin some code extra. Dilar. This is the code written by which procedure? D5 developer. What happens when you write create or replace? Procedure will be already there is a procedure display created by D1. What will happen to the display procedure which is created by D1? Replaced with a display procedure created with a D5.
It will overwrite.
Overwrite.
Okay.
It gets overwritten. So D1's code is lost. Are you following?
That
Yeah.
means it will not when there is an existing procedure, the system will not say that it is already
No.
existing.
No, unlike like in Windows environment, do you want to overwrite the file? Is it asking something like that? No, it's
Okay,
not
that's
asking.
it.
It gets replaced. That's it. Are you understanding? No modularity. There will be no modularity when you're working in program. When you're working in projects, okay. When you're working in projects, you will create set of programs, and your programs. How do you look at all your programs? It's always good practice to create a package and place your programs inside your package. That's the best practice. Shall I give you one simple example? So one real time show you. I'll show you one real time code. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Before that, Sunil, one question.
Yes.
What if someone creates a package with the existing name?
When you're creating the package, you name it. You name according to your naming standard, for example. Let's say,
It's
for
like
example,
in Windows you are putting the procedure
when you're
and
creating a package, mention it with your name. So there is no chance of getting replaced, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But more than replacement, more than just this is one main disadvantage if you don't have packages. One more main importance of the package. Look at this. I'll show you some real-time code. Look here. Look here. Create or replace package. Okay. How many procedures are there? Let us look at. Package is collection of programs. Let's look at it. Program 1, program 2, program 3, program 4. End. Now Dilavar, package is collection of how many programs?
4.
4 programs. My task is to load the data into Oracle Labs. Okay. My task is to load. Have you heard about inbound interfaces? Maybe you have heard. Inbound interface is all about process of loading the data from the file to the Oracle Labs base tables.
Yeah.
When we are performing loading, you cannot directly load. Before loading, you need to validate the data. That's the process. Okay. Before validating, my client has requested to set some default values. Okay. So step 1, what I should do, I should set some default values of the data file. Next step, what I need to do is to validate the data. Next, after validating, what I should do, load the data. In case of loading, if I get errors, I need to write an error log, right? And I should write some errors into the table. This is my task. Okay. All this task is related to one inbound interface program, Dilavar, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and this task we have divided into parts. First, procedure 1, set the default values. Procedure 2, validate the data. Procedure 3, load the data. Procedure 4, error log write the data. All this related to one task. That's why I have made it and grouped as a package. So, grouping of related programs is always a good practice, helps in improving the modularity. So your code will be always inside one package. For you also, if you want to report your package to your managers or to your clients, it will be you feel very, just mention the package name, they will review the code. All the procedures, they will review it. Good? Is it a good practice? Now, how do you feel? Is it a good practice? Look at one standard package I'll show you. Oracle also provides the same standards, you can see.
Sunil,
Yes.
suppose I have multiple procedures and functions in a package, okay? But if someone still replaces, then will it be out of my package? I mean, the package becomes invalid?
Yes, if anybody replaces, then it gets replaced. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when you're writing create or replace, definitely the package gets replaced.
Yeah. So the best practice to have a prefix in not only in the packages but also in the procedures. I mean, if everyone is following D underscore, I mean, I am following D underscore for the procedure name, and Jamal prefix J for the procedure name, then I mean, it can be done within the procedure itself. No, I mean, if the naming convention like that. Yeah, as a collection, package is good just to know what the sequential order we are doing, like in a project.
Yes. Now your doubt is how can we avoid the replacements?
Yeah.
It could be procedure replacement or it could be package replacement. How can we override? How can we stop replacing the packages? Am I right? Dilavar,
Yeah.
is this your question?
Yeah, yeah. How to overcome? Like Jamal is replacing packages.
Let's say Jamal, with good efforts, Dilavar write 100 lines of code, and Jamal will replace his particular package by writing one line code.
Yeah. I did not backup also.
So generally, in that case, we should understand the concept of schemas.
Sure.
So before creating, check the schema.
Yeah.
This is the database. Database server, client machine. This is Jamal's system. This is Dilawar's system. Okay. When Jamal connects with his username and password, okay, assuming Jamal is a username, password for Jamal is some Jamal123 is the password. I'm talking about login details, database login. For Dilawar, the username is Dilawar, the password is Dilawar123.
Yeah.
So Jamal using the username Jamal, password Jamal123, he connects to database. Dilawar using Dilawar123, he connects to database. Whereas there are two users, how many schemas you will have? Two schemas. You'll have two schemas. When Jamal creates a table student, where the table will be created, when Jamal will be connected to Jamal's schema, Dilawar will be connected to Dilawar's schema. Schema is a memory location allocated to a user. As there are two users, how many schemas you have? Two schemas. When Jamal creates a table student, where the table will be created in the Jamal's schema. When Dilawar creates a table student, you will not get table already existing. Table will be created. Same table name, but available in different schemas. Okay? Every user will have their own specific schema. Okay?
Okay.
So Jamal creates a package. It will be created in the Jamal's schema. If Dilawar creates the package, even both Dilawar also will be created. Package will be created in his own schema. So all the objects created by Dilawar will be in Dilawar's schema. All the objects created by Jamal will be there in the Jamal's schema. So you will not have this kind of overloading programs because every program will be stored in their own specific schemas. Concept clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dilawar?
Yeah. This is our schema. I mean, the schema will be defined by the DBA?
Yes. When user is created, automatically schema is created. Okay?
Achha. Yeah.
When there is a command called create user username identified by so and so. So when the user is created, automatically schema is created.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This how we refer? I mean, like suppose we are all these modules AR, AP, all these are also kind of schemas, no?
Schema. So if there are 100 tables in AP module and 100 tables in AR module, so 100 tables will be stored in AR schema, AR location, memory location, and 100 tables will be there in the AP schema. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
in that case, suppose me and Jamal both are working on receivables schema. I guess we will be defining our own packages.
When both of you are working on AR module, okay. But the point is, how you are connecting to the database. Are you both of you connecting same username and password or separate username and password?
We are connecting us.
But here in our case, we have only one app for login.
That means we are on one schema.
when both of you are connected to apps schema, Dilawar, that was your case, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even Jamal is connecting to username apps. Dilawar you are also connecting to app schema. In that case, there is a chance for overwriting. your process
Yeah,
will belong. So we should
yeah,
be very careful. Naming standards you need to follow.
yeah. Or I mean, we should not be having the replace access then.
No, you cannot avoid replacement. The moment you write create or replace, that's it, it gets replaced.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So the grouping of packages is called as, so, and how to invoke procedure. So syntax remains the same. Only thing you should prefix package name dot procedure. How to see list of all the packages? Go to table name, go to schema browser. Go to your required object. What you want to look at? You want to look at packages. Tables, views, synonyms, functions, procedures, packages. We have created one package, na, test underscore pkg. That package should be visible here now.
Yeah.
Schema. So in this table, lot of codings are interesting.
So what is the name of the package which we have just created in our example? The name of the package is test underscore pkg. Alphabetical order. Can you see? Test underscore pkg.
Yeah.
You can see how many packages. This is one program, second program. Clearly it is visible. If you want to see the code in this, okay, go to package body. You have toggle package specification, package body. You have argument. Specification. If you open this, you have the specification body. If you want to look at the specification, if you want to click on the package body, you can see the clearly it is completely visible, the complete code of the package. Like this, grouping is always a good practice. And practically, the moment you get a task to do some specific task, okay, always create a package and place the procedure inside the package. Standard procedures outside the package are called as standalone procedures, which are not preferred. It's always good practice. Create a package, place the procedure inside the package. Okay, so package is not a new concept or not logical new concept, just grouping of procedures and functions. Okay, with this we have completed the concept of packages. The next concept is about